Welcome to episode 267 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It's Saturday, people. Saturday, the 18th of February, 2023. And it is just gone midnight, people. So I am going to have to do this. We're ducking under the tape, as ever. He says, almost, Jesus Christ, my fucking reflux is playing up today, people. Oh, Jesus. We are ducking under the tape just about here at Briggs Towers. I've just got back from a gig and thought, I don't know why I don't do this Saturday mornings, people. It's so much less of a rush, isn't it? However, I just got back from a fucking nightmare gig, which I shall tell you about in a little bit. Possibly now, actually. It might be easier, mightn't it? Get it off my chest. I've already got it off my chest once tonight. It's one of those gigs where one of your mates in comedy is also gigging and you're waiting for them to finish so you can tell them about it. So you can ring them and just go, oh, fuck me. One of my mates, Ricky Bolshaw, was gigging for Just a Tonic in Reading tonight. He was opening for them and I come off stage and went from the venue and then messaged him to see how it got on because I knew it was quite a big. It's quite a big gig for Progression. That gig down there, and I was just waiting to tell him about my fucking shit fest that I've just gone through. It was brutal, people. Brutal. Nothing. Nada. Niente. I got fuck all out of the audience tonight and gave him a load of shit as well. So I don't know, people. Let's have a little bit of coffee. I'm going to need coffee for this. I'm going to need fucking energy and to wake up a bit because I feel fucking physically and mentally drained here. Let's have a little bit of coffee anyway. There we go. A little bit of Tassimo for you, isn't it? Which I swear to God, the longer you keep those machines, the worse the coffee gets. Even if you clean them, even if you fucking, descale them and everything, the coffee just seems to be normal shit coffee that you get out of a machine now, not the frothy enterprise, the frothy extravaganza that it used to be. Anyway, I'm beating around the bush here. I know you want to hear about how bad this gig was. So I was in somewhere near Tamworth, Polesworth, I think it was. And it's a memorial hall. Somebody booked it who I used to gig for quite a bit years ago. He's a lovely bloke. He books it. I believe he's based in Liverpool. I know he's a Scouser. He books he must get contacted to book various gigs or whatever. It was the first comedy night they'd ever had at this venue. I walk in, it's a fucking memorial hall, which is basically like a town hall sort of thing. It's got tables lined up so they're not going from... The audience aren't looking straight at you, they're looking side onto you. So the tables are sort of like going level down the room level rather than across the room. So they're all in big lines when you're looking from the stage. Never a good sign. That isn't. I walk in, a fucking woman greets me. Well, no, the woman didn't even greet me. I just sort of like, she looked like she was the woman in charge. She was holding a clipboard with names on. So I just went over and said, hi, I'm one of the comedians. And she came, she came out with, well, you don't look funny. Thanks, sweetheart. Thanks. I just drove an hour and a half. What the fuck do you expect me to turn up in a fucking clown car? Get out with massive shoes on and a fucking red nose I don't know what you mean by you don't look funny. What's your sense of humour? Am I, I don't know. I'm meant to turn up dressed as fucking Mr. Blobby. Going round to people, fucking, pushing them over and shit. I don't know. And I was that got my back up immediately. I don't know why. Not that I've ever prided myself in looking funny before. But it's just one of those, what, fuck's sake, what do you expect? Have you said this to every other comedian? Oh, you actually look funny. I'm meant to be fucking fat, tripping over. Am I meant to walk in with a fucking ladder and be swinging it back and forth, bashing it into people's heads and shit? I don't know what you expect, sweetheart. I'm here anyway. And I said to her, oh, is there a green room or anything? She goes, oh, everybody's in the main room. So I walk in the main room. I can't see any of the comedians. It's not obvious that there's a green room or anything like that. So I'm just standing there around the fucking punters. And I'm like, I have no fucking idea. So I went back to her again and said, look, I've just been in the main room. I can't see anybody in there. And she goes, oh, they're in at the back of the stage. And at this point, I was like, why didn't you just fucking say that, you fucking prick? Jesus. Do I have to hunt them out? Why don't you just, just stand there instead of making your shitty little fucking observation about whether I look funny or not? Here's a thought. Why not just relax people and say, excellent, we've got everything in hand. We've got a room at the back for you. You can sit down there. That's great. That's all we fucking want when we go in. We don't have to trek round to find the rest of the fucking acts. Just take me to them. Most of the people are in there already. When I walk in that main room, I observe the audience and most of them are at least 70. They must be. And I just thought, oh, God, these people are going to fucking hate me. There's a few younger people in there, but most of them, it's the Blue Rinse Brigade in there. They're all in their 70s. They're all fucking grey hair, walking sticks and shit like that. And I'm just like, I don't know why I have been booked for this. But I got booked for it because I applied for it. And clearly the promoter thought I was the right act. But this would not be the case. As it would turn out. Right, I'm going to have some more coffee. Hang on. So I finally make it out the back with the other acts. The other acts are, is Peter McCall was, he was emceeing. Sam Harland was on first. I was doing a middle spot, and then Sean Percival was closing it. So we're all chatting backstage in that, and it seems a little bit better than it. We're just like, I didn't really mention the weird woman at the start with the fucking thing and that sort of thing. Basically, the night starts. Peter's doing okay as MC. He's basically just, taking a piss out of them and having to pull out a few old school sort of like put downs and things and then Sam, I'm watching this all from the back. By the way, it's a fucking massive room as well. It's a big room. It must be like basketball size court sort of like room. Probably bigger than that, really, to be perfectly honest with you. They're quite sparsely spaced out. There's nobody sitting at the front apart from 3 women. One of them's in a wheelchair. She keeps randomly saying shit, which you can't really, it's difficult to fucking put somebody like that down, isn't it? If they're just in a fucking wheelchair. So Sam does all right in the first section. He has to use a few old school put down lines to get his stuff across, but he's quite sort of like broad in his material as well. He's a great act. He's you know, he's a bit old school, but he's a good act. You know, like he did well. I ain't gonna slag him off. He did fucking well tonight. I'm gonna need more coffee before I go through what I actually did. Why don't you just have the coffee before bed? Because I wouldn't have made it at this time. I think I'd have fucking fell asleep or fucking hung myself after this one. So anyway, there's a break, and in the break and that sort of thing, it's quite obvious to me in the break, because we're right next to the disabled toilet. The lady in the wheelchair has she may not just like have a physical disability, let's put it that way, or either that or she's absolutely fucking rat-assed. I have no idea. It's difficult to tell these days. So there's a break. I go outside for a bit of a vape with Sam, and we're having a chat and stuff, and then obviously Peter starts off. He's doing well. Everybody in the room gets sidetracked talking about like the place being haunted and it being a ghost. I don't know. I have no idea. It's and then Peter introduces me. I walk on stage and said, you know, like, all right, it's nice to be here. You know, obviously older audience, went to, you know, take the piss a little bit, you know, by saying, you know, it looks like some sort of fucking, you know, old age OAP party in here or something like that. Nothing. Didn't get nothing. And then said something else, just like, you know, just being cheeky or whatever. Nothing. Went into, and then was like, oh, right, okay. Went into my material about, you know, like, it's sort of like, you know, what I got up to during the pandemic. I got to cut that, really. It feels a bit dated now anyway. I was thinking that before it even went this evening, and that got a gasp of shock, and I was like, oh, fuck. I did say, you know, a little bit of material about that. That was not going well. And then switched into some other stuff and thought, right, okay, this stuff's decent. Not that the other stuff isn't decent, but this is possibly a little bit more palatable for a soon-to-be dead from old age audience. But that didn't seem to be the case either. They were not. They were not up for that either. And after about, I don't know what it was, 10, maybe 8 minutes, I was like, okay, all right. I realise this isn't going well, but we've only got about 10 minutes left. We can all get through this. Let's just stay on board. And then somebody piped up, and some fucking old cunt piped up and said, you know, like people say it all the time, don't they? Like, you're not funny. Which, to be honest, I wasn't particularly in that room. There was a couple of people who seemed to be enjoying it. Younger sort of like audience, but, you know, the older people, they're not, you know, they're out on a Saturday night. They're making the most of their life, and I probably wasted 20 minutes of their life that they're, you know, never really going to get back, and need to hold on to as much as possible at that age. Yeah, so he said that, you're not funny, mate. And I couldn't, you know, I don't know if you've ever been in this situation before where you've tried, you're tired, and all the pretense and everything of trying to be okay and thinking, oh, we'll get through this, we'll get through that, because there's no real, if you're not doing well and somebody says you're not funny, mate, it's, you know, all you can do really is hold your hands up and say, well, yeah, you're right, to be honest. Not this evening, I'm not. I mean, it's a cunt's trick to do that because they smell fucking blood. And by doing that, it's just underlining it. You know what I mean? I'd literally just said it as well. Like, you know, I know this isn't going well and that, but we can all get through this, and they were all right. And then that cunt says that. Yeah, I think I just went, oh, suck my fucking rancid cock, you cunt. And at that point, I'd definitely lost all of them. I think he questioned why it was rancid. I said it had been inside his wife. I don't know. I do know. Yeah, that's genuine. It had all gone out the window at that point, people. The whole gig had gone out the window at that point, and I was just like, right, I'm going to fucking bury this. You're going to have a fucking worse time than I do, you old fuckers. So I did another, I don't know, I did another 6 or 7 minutes or something. Somebody commented on the fact that I had to walk through the audience to get out of the venue. That's the worst thing. Knowing that, you know, it was almost like it was a threat. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. I am literally in 5 minutes time, 10 minutes time, I am going to be walking straight down there, straight out of that little alleyway in between you all, that little divide in the room. I'm going to be walking straight down there in 10 minutes if anybody has any issues. But yeah, it wasn't, oh God, fucking hell, it wasn't nice, that's for sure. It wasn't a nice gig. And then you just have to try and, you know, I was going to cut it short. I think I did 18 in the end, like 17, 18 minutes. There's no point doing that other 2-3 minutes. It's gone. The audience is gone. You're just a guy on stage. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've ate my fucking balls like that. And I know you walking into the place. Somebody said to me, I don't know if I mentioned this before on the podcast, like I remember texting somebody who I was sort of like dating last year and saying, this looks like it's going to be a tough gig. And they said to me, well, you're already defeated before you walk on. And it ain't a case of that. It ain't a case of being defeated. It's a case of going, I know what my material is. And I know, looking around, what these people would want. Now, sometimes you do get surprised by that, but 9 times out of 10, you fucking know. You know that they're not going to fucking go for it. You absolutely fucking know it. And there's nothing you can do. They didn't get any subtlety or any, you know, hint or any like, oh, I'm just having a fucking laugh here. I'm just laughing at you. Come on, let's all laugh together. No, stoic faces. I don't know why people like that go out. I really don't. And I didn't want to do, the worst thing about it is I didn't want to do the cheap tricks. Not that, you know, the opening act was doing cheap tricks. He's very good at what he does. He does a lot of MCing and stuff like that, especially up north, and it's kind of like a different vibe up there sometimes. And you can do all that, you know, don't drink on an empty head and all that sort of shit. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that just to get through the gig. I'd rather die on my fucking ass, my balls out. I know it sounds like I think I'm heroic. I'm not at all. There's nothing heroic in saying to a 70-year-old man, oh, fucking suck my rancid cock. Is there really? There's nothing humorous in that. There's nothing heroic in that. It's just like, oh, God, it was just a fucking... I couldn't keep it in. It was just like, you know. And then all the way home, all I'm thinking about is, why did I say my rancid cock? Why? I don't know. Is that worse? Would that be worse to a 70-year-old sucking a rancid cock for the first time? I imagine he hadn't ever sucked a cock in his life. He'd been married like 50-odd years. Would it be worse if his first one that was forced into his mouth was a rancid one rather than a pristine, clean? I don't know. Maybe that's what my subconscious was going for at that point. He's not going to be offended enough if you say, suck my cock, because he may misinterpret that as a clean cock. Whereas what you want to need to do, Ben, is you need to clarify that the cock he will be sucking is actually rancid. and somehow makes that worse. I don't know, people. I don't know. Anyway, that was done. And then I think I said, fuck it, I've got about 3 minutes left. I had about 6 at that point. I love doing that. I love doing that. If the gig's going badly, you go, well, I've only got about 3 minutes left now. And you've got about 6. It puts in their head, oh, well, it's not that long. And then somebody shouted out, boil an egg. And I just didn't. At that point, I had no energy, no inclination to either engage, and just went, oh, fuck off. And it's at that point I started wrapping up and said, well, you guys I'm going to be leaving the stage soon. To which I got applause for that bit. I mean, like, I smashed that. When I announced that I would be leaving the stage, I absolutely smashed that, but fuck me. Yeah. So I got out. So I get off stage. All the rest of the acts do what every fucking time somebody fucking eats their balls. They immediately go, well, yeah, the audience weren't that great, were they? You know, like the audience, they're just trying to, like, they know you fucking feel awkward. You know that they know you feel awkward, and they're being nice about it and stuff like that. So they were quite sweet about it, actually. And there was actually a back exit out of the gig. And Sam said to me, do you want to go out the back exit and just round to the car park? And I went, no, I'm not doing that, man. I'm going to walk out. I put my bag on, put my fucking coat up, put my fucking head up, and opening those doors to go through the room. I could have gone out the back way. It would have been quicker to go out the back way, but I thought, fuck that. I'm not going out the back way. Let's keep a little bit of pride tonight, shall we? You know, I'm not sneaking out of the fucking back way like a sneak thief. What's the worst they're going to do? Throw some boiled sweets at me? Is that it? Nobody, you know, you're going to get a fucking walking stick to the back of the head. I don't know. But it was, I put my jacket on, put my fucking chin up and walked out. Straight through the fucking lot of them. Didn't even fucking look from one side to the other, just focused on the fucking exit and walked out. I saw a few people sort of like just staring. I didn't even fucking clock them. Didn't even give them the time of day. That's it, innit? I Kanye West the fuck out of there. That's it. That's what I did. So yeah. So that's been my evening, people. And then drove home, chatting to Ricky over the phone, who had a good gig, which is just what you want to hear. And then he goes, "Oh, did you not hear about my Monday gig?" And I went, "No. Tell me about that, mate. Immediately tell me about the fucking shit gig you had on Monday. And then we were laughing about my gig tonight and his gig. And then that's it, innit? And then it's over and done with. None of this fucking, Milliken's Laurie. Hey, at 11 a.m., you have to forget about how good or how bad that gig was. No, I will be traumatized by this for months, I imagine. Every now, not constantly though, just every now and again it'll just pop in. Like I'll just question it every now and again. Why rancid cock? Why rancid? Why rancid? Is there something you want to tell us subconsciously about your cock? I don't know. Anyway, what are we on? 24 minutes. Last night, however, I was in Cooknow United Football Club. Holy fucking shit. I used to play for them years ago when I was about 18, 19. Probably, I don't know, 17, 18, 19. Don't know, I can't remember. I think it was 18, 19. Something like that. Anyway, I was over there for a charity do. Who does a lot for charity? For, oddly enough, ran by somebody who I used to know his well, I do know his brother, but I used to sort of like hang around with his brother a few years ago. That was organised by Pete Techman, local comedian in Northampton. But it was a fucking lovely, sweet little gig, and it was kind of weird going back because I remember playing over there. I think I played over there for a couple of seasons. And they're quite, it's a nice sort of like, it's a nice ground. They've got floodlights, they've got main pitch, they've got training pitches below that, and they've got a clubhouse. And our changing room was the actual changing rooms that they used for the football. So like our green room was the changing room, and I remember I was getting flashbacks as I was sitting there. I remember sitting in those changing rooms at the age of 18, 19, feeling fucking the nerves of going on and playing like a decent, a big game against somebody, against another team. And I remember, and it just, there's something about changing rooms, football changing rooms, that there's always an underlying smell of deep heat about the place. But it was just, they hadn't seemed to change. The actual clubhouse bit was the same size as it had always been. There wasn't many in there last night. There must have been about 50, 60, I think, something like that. And it was just a thoroughly nice, lovely sort of like fun audience you could fuck around with a little bit. And we raised a bit of money for charity. I got paid as well, which is a bonus. So I went from yin to yang. Yin last night, yang tonight. I don't know. Which is the bad one? Yeah, but it was definitely two ends of the spectrum this Friday and Saturday, that's for sure. And it's kind of weird not doing a comedy club at the weekend. You know what I mean? Doing a charity gig is different. People are a little bit nicer. And then doing a first night tonight with the fucking cast of, some mothers do have them or whatever in the audience who had grown up. I don't know. It was fucking horrendous anyway. Yeah. So, you couldn't get two different gigs. And I saw somebody who I used to know years ago. I used to know him and his dad, who used to, when I used to drink in a local pub. And it was nice to have a chat and a catch up with him as well. So big shout out to Phil, Big Phil, who I saw on Friday night. So, it's been a roller coaster of a weekend. From doing a nice local gig, like about 5 miles away from Briggs Towers, to travelling to Tamworth to die on my fucking hole. For a total of 18 minutes. I haven't fucking... That takes some going, people. That takes some, it was about 17 minutes maybe. Maybe I'm bigging it up too much. Okay, it was about 7 minutes and I told him to fuck off and then just left. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't. It's always a difficult one if you're dying on your ass what you do. Because you know for a fucking fact, there reaches a point of no return in a gig where you're never going to get it back. No matter what you do, you're not going to get it back. And you've either got a choice then. You've either got a choice of you try and pander to them and just try and get through, in which case they ain't going to respect you. They ain't going to, they're only going to fucking try and fucking bully you. And I know it's like 2023. Hey, man, bullying shouldn't exist. Yeah, well, you be on stage dying on your ass. You be on stage eating your fucking balls and you see the mob mentality. You see that mob mentality building in front of you. You can see people in the audience just lighting the fucking pitchforks and the torches. Lighting the pitchforks? I don't think. They're lighting the torches. They're sharpening the pitchforks. You can see it happening. You can see a mob fucking build in front of you. And, so you either pander to him, in which case you're going to get fucking torn apart, or you go the other way and you try and save some fucking self-respect and rip into him and just try and, keep your head up, walk out and do your best. And that's the option I've always tried to do. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But I'd rather walk off there with a slight semblance of self-confidence left, rather than being absolutely destroyed. And there's nothing worse than pretending to like a fucking horrible audience, and then walking off and they still fucking don't like you, and you're like, why the fuck did I do that? Not only have I had a shit gig, I've also tried to fucking pander to them and they haven't gone with that. So my fucking ego's taken a beating as well. You might as well just go down, all guns blazing. Right, we're going to fucking burn this gig. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's probably why I'm doing those gigs on a Friday and Saturday night. I don't know. Anyway, back to the drawing boards, people. Keep on keeping on. Keep on pushing. Keep on writing. Be the best person you can be this week. Hey, if you're dying on your ass at work this week, in this coming week, say you're on a Monday or a Tuesday and you're dying on your ass doing data entry, yeah? You're making a lot of mistakes. Grab your fucking boss by the fucking ears and tell him to suck your rancid cock. That would be my advice. I don't know. That is, people. I'm starting to get a little bit loud and it's about 12:30 now. So I'm going to have to calm down. Calm down, Benny. It's all going to be okay. I'll just spend the rest of the night stroking my fucking hair. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. Listen to some ASMR. Calm down a little bit. That is episode 267 of the Ben Briggs podcast. Thank you for tuning in, people. I hope the rest of your weekend will be great. I'm about to take a cold shower and just sit there fucking shivering in the bottom of my bath. What more would you want to do until 11 o'clock in the morning? And Millikan's law says I can stop torturing myself. I don't know. I don't live by that law. Have a great weekend, people. I shall speak to you on Tuesday, motherfuckers. Take care.